All right, guys, let's take a look at this. This was Monday morning at open, this vertical line. So this is what I would have set up. Obviously, we would have some more 5-minute zones, supply zones, right, sitting up here. They're just not going to come into play. So, but definitely would have this, right? This is current price, come up, supply zone off this candle here, right? If we want to do another one, we would look to this. We would say no, it'd come over, it'd be this guy here. Let's do that real quick, just so you guys can kind of see the process. Right? Imagine this is, it's 9:20. We're about to go into open, right? So we know that's supply zone because that's a bullish candle. It's above price, and you can see how it's been tested multiple times in pre-market. So then we would go up to here, look to the left. I'm looking, I see this candle right here. I look up, no, red candles. So this candle here is going to be our supply zone as well. So now we have the 5-minute zones marked out, right? So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, supply, and then we have demand, demand, demand. Okay? Now, obviously there's demand here as well, but we already broke through that. Okay, so this would have been a demand zone, this bearish candle right here, but since we got the close underneath here, right, we know that you might want to leave one line for a retest, but again, once it's broke through, it's done, right? So we could leave, we could go like this and say, okay, here's a retest. Again, that's, the hourly and the daily, I like to pay attention to those the most, but still, we got the close through it, so we know this is old. It's no longer valid. So let's move forward and just take a look at this. It's a little bit slow. It's on 1x. So what are we going to look for here, right? You're either going to look for a bounce here, possibly we get a move back down into this zone, or we're going to push up, and reject off here. Well, that's what we're looking for, right? Or we push up and we continue to go up to these guys here. So let's see what happens, right? It's trying to come down. Oop. So there's our test right here. Okay. I'll blow this up a little bit. That's our test and rejection, and this is our retest. So this is the entry right here, right? 940. As the 939 and then 940 hits, if we're playing first thing in the morning, we say, okay, that's close enough of a retest, we can grab it, right? Now, obviously, a lot of us miss that. Not playing, the initial move in the morning is fine. So let's see what happens here. So we're kind of sitting, boom. Okay, so now we've come down, right? And we're testing perfectly to this demand zone here, right? All right, so the supply above us is still this zone, okay? And then the next demand zone down is going to be this one. We could have all of these already set up, right? Like we're already setting these up. If we go back over to here, right, we have, where is it? This big drop. So again, not included, right? And then down here, there is demand. Might as well mark this out. I'm not sure if it's going to matter to get to that spot yet, but this is, like I said, this is kind of what we're looking at. And we know, right, because we see where this wick goes down to, it's not sitting inside another bearish candle, right, consecutively, so going back, right? So we're kind of going down the line. We know that this is the lower end, so that's going to be demand for now. But like I said, we're not worried about that so much the second. All right, so now we'll continue this on. We've gotten this test here, all right? Now, we want to see a candle close, and again, I'm not really trying to, in this type of market, like we talked about all week, we're shorting the pops. That's what I'm looking for, right? But, let's see where it goes. Boom. Way down, right? So it just slammed all the way down, got bought back up. Now, you either caught that from up here and cashed out on the way down, right? Somewhere. And that was a great payday. Or you're like, shit, now I know. That's bearish, right? That's really bearish price action. Did get bought back up. So now let's say we're looking for entries. You either got out of this, took some profits hopefully here, or we're watching this in real time, more than likely, because at this point it's what? It's 10 a.m., right? We got that 10 a.m. pop. So where are we going to find an entry now? Well, now we still know this is the supply zone that matters up here, right? Because this one's testing off of this, and that's it. That's what we have for, there's no other bullish candles. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we closed above. Now we're starting to base out a little bit, right? All right, so what did we just do? We got another test here, right? Rejection. Let's see if we can get a retest to buy and short again. Right there, right? That's going to be a retest. Now, do we take that trade? Probably. I probably would. Remember, these are 5-minute candles, so each candle, it takes 5 minutes to play out. Obviously, you're watching this stuff in real time. It's much slower. So, oop. All right, so we're still coming up in. So, are we adding on here? What are we doing? We're definitely grabbing. So in my opinion here, right, there's been multiple spots to test, or multiple retests, multiple entries here. And we're just waiting to see if it's going to pop off. And boom, there it goes, right? Again, as we land here, you see how this bases out inside of this demand zone? That's how we know this stuff works, right? You want to know where these demand zones are. And again, this is a demand zone. We start at the bottom, okay? And we say, look, this is our... we know these wicks don't go into anything, right? We know that because when we go back, this is all just bullish candles. The only demand zone's way down here. So we look at this and say, what's the lowest, bearish candle? Well, that one. Okay, so we mark that in. Now we go up, and we're looking for the next lowest, consecutively, whatever. Obviously, in line. And it makes sense. We snap a demand zone onto that, the body of that bearish candle, and we can see it's tested here. And it pushes up, right? So that's how we get this demand zone. Okay, and you can see how it got retested here. It was held, and again, it was bullish. So this, this was last Friday. This is where the bulls, obviously I wasn't around, but this is a very good, there's lots of trades in here. So, you want to be on these days that we trend. We want to be able to capitalize on it. So, all right, so back to this, right? We've gotten short up here. And this is why you wait for those 5-minute closes, you guys, because this fakes you out. You're in too big of a position, in my opinion, right? Or you're taking that first entry and it's too much for you to handle, and that's why I always leave a little bit of dry powder to get, to average down. Or again, if you're tight, if you got a small account, wait for this better test. You would have missed it up here. But here you would have had a perfect, as soon as we got back up, even if you had it near this 30, 39, the top of the zone, you had plenty of opportunity to get in. So now we've come down, though. This would have been my first target, right? I would be taking off risk as we come down into this zone because we don't know. We know it held here. We don't know if it's going to hold again. All right, and these are just 5-minute zones. When we have the hourlies up, right, and I'm not going to go into it this second, but if you put up the hourlies and those OG zones, you may see that there's something else here as well. So again, you want to take off some risk here, but leave some runners. If you're only buying 1 or 2 contracts, what you can do is wait. See this candle that comes down into it. You could have your stop back up above here. So let's say 30, 40, 30, spot 6 or spot 7. You could even say 40, 31, right? That's going to be where you just get out. And what does it do? It never tests that again. It starts to drop. So let's keep going. Right, kind of consolidate. Now, if you missed this up here, once it based a little bit and tried to retest kind of the zone, there's entries there as well. And again, remember, these are 5-minute candles. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 20 minutes worth of time to kind of grab once again. Now we're coming down again. So as, let's say we grabbed up here. Obviously, if you grabbed it first thing in the morning, you're just holding. Although I would have taken most of my profits by this point, if not here, and and added back in or gotten back in here. So, but again, if you're coming down to here, we want to take off some profits near 4,009, 4,007. Right? So what's it gonna do? Sorry. There we go. Okay. Down, see how it starts to build, and the reason you want to take profits as you're coming into it is because by the time it retraces up like this, especially the 0 DTs, even though it's I know it's it's Monday, but if you have 0 DTs, it doesn't matter, right? These things are going to come down as it bounces. You're getting your premium chewed up, So, you know, it's smart after a big move like that, just lock it in. And again, if that's the only play you have for the day, if you're only taking one contract, it's better to lock this in and say, all right, I'm done for the day. Because we don't know, even though we know, obviously, you know, dropped pretty hard, in hindsight, we don't know that coming into it. We know that this is where the drop was on Friday and it was bought up quick. So, you know, again, this is where you want to kind of be careful. But let's see where it plays out to. Okay, so here's another thing. So once this broke, right, something else that you guys can do. Now we know we have supply zones here, right? One here, and that'd be a tiny little zone, and then there's one here as well, right? So again, you could leave on the one line for the retest, but once these things are formed and it's come down and based out, this is going to be our first area of interest. And what do? We come up and try to test it again, reject, try to get another test, you know. So there are entries here as well. Just again, in real time, you really want to think this out. And I recommend anybody with TradingView to replay and to, you know, kind of walk through it like this. Put it more in real time. You can come down here and slow it way down if you want to, right? I'm not going to do it for this video, but and just, you know, kind of put yourself in that. Imagine it's real time. Imagine it, you know, in real time, because if this is during the day, this is what we're trying to watch for. So anyways, now we have this, right? We have a supply zone here, little supply up here. Obviously, you know, there's some more up here, and then this big guy. So let's see what happens here. Trying to break through. Okay, so we're going to get the close under it. Yes, so right there. This is key, right? Got the 5-minute close below. Okay. Got the retest. That's a great entry. Got another retest. It's trying to hold, right? Oop, now we got to pop back up. And that might have been a bit of a fake out there. But look at this. Multiple tests. If you didn't get in back here and you didn't like that, once it tested again and gave up, it's a nice move, right? We're coming down. Where's it going to stop? And again, here's a great example of why we'd start taking profits early before we actually hit the target, right? Or at least you're watching it in real time to see what it does. After you saw that wick bounce up like that and this one push down again, you kind of want to lock some of these in. But again, depends on your contract. You guys will have to make that judgment. So let's do this. We got all these, so we know this has been broken through. Right, so now this is our supply, because again, what's the bullish candle above price, right? That's you know, the highest above price, that's consecutive. You know, does this go into the top of this candle? It's not in the body of another bullish candle that would be sitting right here. There's no bullish candle, so that's our supply. So, and you could add lines here to this, you guys. You want to do that on your own. If I looked up here, I would say, okay, where's the highest candle? It's going to be this guy here, so that would be our supply. Like I could grab this and say, okay, that's the bottom, right? We'd have one at the top. Let's just see how this plays out, and then I'm going to end it, because that was basically the point of it. But so we got the test and a close below, right? Attempted to drop. We got a perfect test of it up here. Let's see what happens. Are we going to bounce back up? Ooh, we did get a close above, so that's more bullish, right? So again, if you took it, you know, you'd get tagged out on this. But again, that was a bullish signal, which we did push up, right? Where are we going to push up to? We're going to tap that. We're getting pretty close. Definitely some sellers sitting here, right? In real time. Oh, and you know what? We're way past the end of the market. Sorry. Okay, so the end of the market was right here. Boom, right there. So again, you know, maybe you took one last try in the end of the day, got stopped out, whatever. This was Monday though, so you know, again, market ended right. This was the last candle for the market. This guy right here. So just looking back at this, right, I just want to show you all real quick, relatively quick, you know, how many entries there were on Monday, right, coming down. And again, I know we get in our heads that, hey, you know, are we going to bounce though? Are we going to do this or that? And we just don't know. So you want to be able to structure, you know, we see this drop. It was pretty bearish coming into this week, but obviously nobody knows for sure. The thing to do here is just, play, make sure you're able to mark these zones, and just, put them on your charts. If you're not putting them on your charts as price is moving along, you need to practice some more, and I'm happy to help with that. We're going to do more of that coming up, so in the future. But hopefully this helps you guys. Let me know what you think about it, and we're going to have a class tomorrow on Sunday, probably middle of the day. I don't know, early afternoon, something like that, and then we'll do obviously the Sunday night prep. I'll be around most of the day working, but tonight we had a family event that kind of came up, so I'm not going to be around tonight. But I did want to put out a video for you guys to at least look at these entries. This was a perfect example, and obviously the rest of the week continued on similar to this. It's not always this easy, but the name of this game is to take risk, right? You got to be able to take measured risk, and part of that is jumping into these plays, waiting for like here, this would have been tough. This example here, right? Like I was saying, how it popped up above where the supply would be, okay? But if you know that your demand this was new demand, wherever my cursor is, it's kind of a retest. The thing you have to decide is, once you get this close, we get this slight push up, but we came back down inside of that supply zone we had, and then it dropped. When you see that, that tells me price is still fighting, right? There's still sellers up here. So, not every entry was perfect, but I think there were multiple entries in this day to where you could have taken a couple in the beginning, even if you missed that initial entry up here, right? But this one here, this was a huge play. I mean, this played out at 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. Eastern time. So from 11, you come right on down to 12. You let that baby rip. Yeah, man, that could be the only move you need. So anyways, take care, guys. We'll talk soon.